curious if I can make this thing rotate. I guess I can't. So I'm going to have to just go here like this. So we're trying to go live. Let's see if this is live over here. And yeah, there we are live. That's interesting. Okay, really good. Let's edit video. Let's put a different background in here. And see what am I doing here? Live editing. So I'm going to change the background. And I'm going to pick up. What am I going to pick up? Oh yeah, I've got this. So past live. Yeah, that's right. And Sailing Cook. Editing beans live editing. I guess it works better if I could spell. Save that. Okay, and let's go back here and see if we can find this now. There we are. There we are. Eminem, hey, thank you for coming by. Caesar Mocha, thank you for coming by. Yeah, marijuana, number one. So I'm trying something new. The boat is out of the water, and it's freezing down there, and there's no more Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do is we're going to edit there we are. So that's good. So now I think I've got everything I need. So we're going to try to edit the latest cooking video. Rusty Rivers, hey, thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by. I looked into your profile there. Now I understand a little bit of what you're all about. Let's just see if we can turn this camera just a hair. And what I'm trying to do, I noticed that I have more audience when we're live on the boat, when I'm on the phone, because the algorithm sends it out to the vertical video short stream. So it shows up in as if it was a short. And that might make it more attractive than if it's a 16:9, like full screen computer video. And a couple of people I've been following have started to do the same thing. Willie's Desert Roadhouse. A guy I follow, he's out in Arizona, and you get a lot of beautiful skylines. Joshua, thank you for coming by. Really glad to see you. Let me just check to see if I can change live chat replay. Yeah, let's leave it on. You don't have to be a subscriber to comment, and if we get into too many trolls, then we'll change that around a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, I don't like phones. My fingers are too big to really accomplish a lot on them. I can't make the comments work. I can't moderate the comments. So what we're doing here is we're going to let me just make sure we've got some sound here. Can I hear myself? I can hear myself. Good. Okay, just checking. Because I'm not using the wireless mic that I use on the boat. But yeah, social. I guess TikTok started the phone-based. I guess even Instagram, the phone-based reels. And hey, Cameron Green, thank you for coming by. Appreciate the visit. Hit the like and subscribe if you have the time. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to do it later in the week. We'll talk about boats and stuff like that. The boats out of the water. It's going to freeze on the weekend here. The water tank has been winterproofed. but the engine has not. And I got to buy some more antifreeze for that. And that Thursday is supposed to be a nice day here, so we'll do that Thursday so that the engine is winterized before it gets cold on the weekend. Now it's only supposed to go down to zero, and by the water it never gets as cold as in the middle of the city or north of the city. But we'll it's got to be done anyway, so there's no point in taking chances. So yes, so having said that, pardon my coughing here. Having said that, we're going to try to edit on the computer, and I use two monitors to do the edit. They're big 32-inch monitors, and I'm going to try to record what's on the computer screens using the phone and see if that is more desirable to the outside world. And I think if I use StreamYard, I can force it to go from a computer and still be a 9:16 vertical format. But I'm not a StreamYard person, and I'm not going to invest in that platform at this time. So what are we doing? We're going to turn the phone around, and it's then turn the camera around again a bit. And what we've got is today's recipe. This is today's lunch. It was done in my basement test kitchen, not on the boat. As I said, the boat is pretty well closed, not completely. I need to record some pictures of the salmon for the salmon video that we edited live a couple of weeks ago on the boat barbecue. So we'll do that there, even though it's not in the water. And we'll maybe do something else live from there where it makes more sense. Type show. I can't type show link to drop link. Let's put that out there, and by all means network to the extent possible. Let's pin this message, and there we are. Pardon me. So I'm not sure my pretty face adds a lot to the environment. Let's just line up this camera just a little bit better so that it's in the middle of the shot. So we lose a little bit of the screen environment this way. But so this is today's. This was today's lunch: hot dogs and beans, which has been received well. And I again asked ChatGPT, asked AI for some ideas on hot dogs and beans, and they gave me a few things, which obviously were scraped off of the internet. And let's just hide this mess here. There we are. And some of these were good, and some of them were with onions and tomatoes and mustard. I was thinking of putting mustard in and then changed my mind because I'm not a fan of mustard. But I put mustard on the side because I am a fan of dipping Frankfurters in a little bit of mustard. And I came across a few people that had recipes, or really everybody's the same recipe, but they set it up as a recipe for billionaire franks and beans and millionaire franks and beans. And of course, we now have a trillionaire in the names of in the presence of Mr. Musk and his friends. So I figured let's call it Trillionaire Franks and Beans. And So this is the making of it. It's basically it's let's move this where you can see it. Let's make this big. Bring it over here. Toasted bits of baguette. Why baguette? Because baguette is what trillionaires eat. They don't eat toast. They eat baguettes. And then we're going to chop up some tomatoes and there. And we're going to put some beans in. So I'm looking ahead. And we're going to serve it out with a little bit of cheese. So yeah, there we are. We're putting some cheese on. I originally tried garnishing it with parsley, and that was rather boring. So I gave up on that. So now, okay, we lost a few people, but that's okay. Let's edit this mess. So I've taken all these images, these videos, and copied them into Premiere Pro already. Just save myself a little bit of time. And now I'm going to move over so that I'm not trying to look at the screen through the phone. So here we are. We're cutting up the bread. And we're cutting up some onion. And we're cutting up the hot dogs. So I wanted to do all the cutting first to get that out of the way. And I also wanted to use a fake can of beans. So this is Greek. Hey, Cloud Kicker, I haven't seen you in a long time. I don't think I've been on your channel in a long time. Let's give you a wrench. I apologize for that. I definitely will come by for a visit. And we've lost a few, but network as you think is appropriate. So for stock video, I did a series of photos on fake food cans, and this was basically it's real food cans with a label that is generic, so that if you're writing an article about beans, for instance, you might not want to be promoting Heinz beans or Libby's or Clark or Bush or whoever it is that you're not trying to promote. You might want to use a generic image of baked beans in your article, and there's a lot of these pictures are used in a series of food blogs on a channel called, or I guess it may even have a channel, but their website is the Static group of channels, and they do Tasting Table and House Digest and a variety of blogs aimed at sort of a younger demographic, and they use a lot of these because they don't want to be promoting Heinz beans if Heinz isn't paying, but they still want to be able to talk about beans. So here we got some beans, and we're going to fry the bread. That's good. And then we're going to, now here I tried something else. I want to sell this as a stock video. Let's just make it smaller, of putting in oil into a pan, on the assumption that somebody that's trying to create a video about cooking without actually doing the cooking might want to buy this. And looked at a bunch of AI stuff recently, and there's some really interesting stuff happening there. So eventually AI will steal it, of course, and people will get it when they do create an AI image of somebody cooking. You know, the benefit, of course, is that I sell these through Adobe and Shutterstock, and they do pay for the use of these. Thanks, Guy. Thanks, Cloud Kicker. They pay for the use of the images to feed their AI model. So here we are. Let me just look at this here. What is this? This is an empty pan. We don't need this clip. Let's get rid of it. Where is it? Reveal in project. Where are you? Oops. Reveal in project. There you are. Let's delete you. What number are you? You are number 311. Yes, you're gone. Let's go here. 311. Where's 311? It's only a couple seconds long. I think what had happened is I wasn't ready. I hit record and I wasn't quite ready to do anything. And again, we'll just rename the file so that it doesn't disappear in case we need to bring it back. Now, this one we're not likely to bring back. Okay, so what else we got here? We got some onions. We got some tomatoes because I figured tomatoes are good. We're putting some beans in. There you go. Now it's starting to look like lunch. And there we are. We're going to serve it on those rounds of toast, which was a really good idea. I'd never considered beans on toast, and apparently it's a thing. So there we are, beans on toast, some mustard, and some cheese. I actually put in some parsley garnish, and then I decided against it because I didn't like the color of the parsley. And it also, what am I doing here? I think I recorded the introduction twice. Oh no, this is me eating it, okay? Let's look at this. Put me in here, and we'll put me in the boat. Where's the plate? There's the plate. So we want to make sure we can see that. And then this is the intro. So that's where we are today. Let's save this mess. And let's start editing. So the first thing we want to do, I always want to have the finished product and then the most exciting part of the cooking. So here we are. This is it. I have to move this camera just a hair because it's in the way of the keyboard. There we are. That's better. And let's just get that out of the way there. That's better. That's better. Okay, let's see. There we are. That's better. Yeah, so I decided not to garnish it. I figured, but I went back and put a bit of extra cheese on because I like the colors. This is 3 kinds of cheddar, and it ended up really looking pretty. Plus, a little bit of cheddar adds a bit more taste. So let's get rid of the audio track here, and let's see how many seconds we need. We need 5 seconds of intro. Let's make it zoom out. So the advantage of recording in 4K and editing in HD is that you can virtually zoom in and out. There we go. And we're picking up a piece of sausage, and there we are. How many seconds is that? That is 7 seconds. Okay, we don't need 7 seconds. We got the sausage. We'll take a little bit off the beginning. Now we're down to 5 seconds. Perfect. So our intro, hello, move your timeline there. There's our intro. And it's going to say something like trillionaire Franks and beans, or beans and weenies, beans and wieners. And now I need an interesting part of the cooking of this. And where did we have that clip? that we were looking at earlier, where put some oil in the pan, blah, blah, blah. There we are. That's going to be this is the most interesting few seconds of cooking. Let's put that here. Take a look at that, and again, let's get rid of the audio track. Later on, we'll use the audio track, but at this point, let's get rid of it. And we need a few seconds here. So here's this. We start at the beginning. Opens up. We see some nice cooking action there. Okay, that's too much there. So let's start this here, where we see a little bit. Let's go a little bit down. And I think the problem is I didn't hold it with the label, the beans label, because when I opened the tin, I didn't plan how the open lid would get in the way. Okay, so how many seconds do we need here? 5 or 6, 16, there's 10. We don't need 10 seconds of this. We want 5 seconds. There we are, 5 seconds. That's 8. And that's probably, we can stop it there. 6 seconds, 6 seconds. Okay, 6 seconds is good. Let's go with 6 seconds. And we'll put that at the beginning. And I know I'm going to want this on this track because I'm going to have the captain talking about the cooking. And then what are we doing here? We're going to cut some bread. I hate that knife. I can't get a decent sharp knife. Cut, 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 cut. That's good enough cutting, bread cutting. Let's go there and let's speed it up 160%. Speed and duration. There we are, 160. So now it is how many seconds? 14. Yeah, we can invest 14 seconds. So let's take off the beginning. We actually want to see something happening. Okay, so there we're cutting up the bread. Oh yes, I did remember. I did zoom in, didn't I? So let's get rid of some of this. And let's bring in some of the zoomed in. So I zoomed in reality, not just virtually. Cut. Oh, what's that? Okay, I like that. Let's zoom it just a hair so that we get okay, and how many seconds of this do we need? There's 6 seconds. Okay, we can do 6 seconds. No, I want this faster. This is too slow. Feels like I'm falling asleep. Okay, so let's bring this out and we'll do 5 seconds. There we are, 5 seconds. Cut, cut, cut. Okay, so let's finish the cutting of the bread. And now, in reality, I did all the cutting first, and then the cooking second. But in the story, once the bread is cut, it can go into the pan. So let's do that. At the okay, they were doing the oil. They were doing the oil. Okay, pan, pan, pan. Okay, so let's take these 3 clips of frying the bread. So basically we're toasting it in the pan. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit here, go down. Okay, so again, this camera doesn't record sound in the first 8 frames, which is a quarter of a second basically. And we don't want all of that dead space anyway. Pour. Good enough. Let's cut it there. It's kind of redundant to say I'm going to spread the oil around. How many seconds is that? 8, that's good. We don't need too much spreading. There's 4 seconds, okay. And then, hey, how come the camera didn't focus? It'll do. I didn't like what had happened there. Why is the camera focus so slow? Took a long time to focus there. Cut that there. Okay, so how long is this? We're still got 13 minutes of the final video. So let's just turn this camera very slightly. Because the most interesting part, of course, is this, what we're seeing and the timeline. And I'm sort of working in the middle. So this way it's a good representation. I just need to get myself a bit of water. Give me a second. Okay, so let's have a sip of water. Let's have a sip of water. Hey, Chef Roast, thank you for coming by. Hey, I saw your live today. It looked, I was going to say normal, no costumes except for the hat. The hat was kind of cool. So. And it wasn't full screen. I mentioned earlier that I'm actually recording my screen on my computer with my phone so that it's treated as a vertical video instead of a computer video. And I saw yours wasn't taking up the full screen either. Normally you take up the whole screen, I think. But I guess you use StreamYard, so StreamYard must do some good stuff for you there. Anyway, so here we're cooking Trillionaire Frankston beans. Trillionaire Frankston beans. So I'm not 100% sure why this camera didn't focus. Was I too close to it? It caught up relatively quickly. Let's zoom out just a hair. That's good. I like that. So there we go. Now we're frying the bread. And then we're going to... Okay, we're not going to do this here. Well, that's cooking. We're going to change subjects. And we're going to... Okay, so again, why is it didn't, took a second to focus there, right? That's weird. Okay, so we're cutting up the onion. There's cutting up an onion. It's 31 seconds. We don't want 31 seconds. Let's make it 140%. 140. And now, so we're getting that organized. And then we're going to cut up the onion. Okay, so it's centered nicely enough. Let's just zoom out just a hair because it was centered a little bit. I got to figure out why the camera wasn't focusing. Is the lens dirty? I don't know what its problem is. Okay, so we're cutting up the onion. Nope. Okay, we don't want to do that. So while we're cutting up the onion, now in the story, what's going on here? Okay, so here with this, we're cutting up the onion. Let's put this here. Put the bread in. Now we're cutting up the onion. And now we're going to turn it over, but we're not, as I said, in real life, in real time, I took the bread out of the pan. Does that show up in here? You know what? I was picking it up with the spatula wasn't the greatest idea in the world either, because I didn't do a very good job of picking them up. Okay, let's just. Do we like what we're doing here? We're screwing around with it. See that the pieces didn't stay on the thing. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to do the whole thing. We'll cut it here, and maybe we won't even use it at all. Okay, now I took it out, and I'm going to, what's my next thing? Where's my onion cutting? What happened to my onion cutting? Okay, onion cutting. There, and now I'm putting the onion in. Where's my onion in? Okay, so I put a bit more oil. Let's make this a bit smaller so we can see better what we're doing. And okay, we're going to add a bit of oil because the bread absorbed all the oil. And we're going to then put in the onion. And there's a few seconds of it. That's 29 seconds. That's too long. Okay, we're putting oil, putting oil, putting oil. And now we're waiting. We don't really. Okay, we don't really need that swishing of the oil. Let's cut that out. Okay, so here, there's a part in here where oil has been poured in. It's sitting there. We don't need to watch the oil flowing in the pan. That's kind of boring. And we're putting in the onion. And there's the end of the action for that. And we're still at 11 minutes for the story. Oh, is there a big gap there? Do I have big gaps in here? Yeah, I have big gaps in here. So my 11 minutes is overestimated. It's really only 10 minutes, 58 seconds, and whatever this gap is in here. I'm not sure why there's a gap. Okay, so where did we... Well, how far did we get here? Bread. Chop up the onion while that's frying. Okay. Onion's frying. So now we're going to chop up the sausage. Okay, so here's bread, onion. Okay, we're not doing that. Let's move that over to here. Get out of my way. Okay, so now we're going to cut up some tomato. Let's center that. And okay, that's good. So we're going to put some tomatoes there. Oh, no, I'm going to say a handful of tomatoes. That's nice. And we're going to cut up some tomatoes, blah, blah, blah. Cut. How long is this? This is 37 seconds. So we want to leave that part there just till we get... Okay. And then we're going to speed up this part to be 140%. Does it look good? It looks good. You can make it shorter later on when we watch it if we get bored. And now we're going to put the tomatoes in with the onions. We're going to put the tomatoes in with the onions and mix them around. And later on, I'm going to squish them. I'm not sure if that was good. If I hadn't squished them, they might have looked better in the final picture because it would have been nice and round things. Okay, so now we're going to cut up the sausage, right? Squish, squish, squish. Let's cut up the sausage. Let's do that in here. Okay, so now we're going to cut up the sausage. Let's zoom, center it. Okay, again, it's too slow. Let's go faster, 140%. And that looks good. Let's just zoom out just a hair so we get more sausage in the picture. Out of focus again there for a second. I got to see what the story is on that camera. Did the focus point shift something? Who knows? It's still nice quality, but not what I was hoping for. Okay, so now we're going to do that. And now we're going to, again, we're going to take out the first, see here, this is no audio for 8 frames. Who knows what the story is? And it isn't just the internal microphone. I put in an external microphone, a Rode microphone. It didn't make any difference. Okay, so here we're going to do this. And now we're going to just, I like the sizzling sound. Okay, so here, I don't want to sizzle with no action. And we're squishing the tomatoes. Squish, 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 squish. And now we're going to spend too much time squishing. And we're going to put the okay, so here the lid gets on. I don't need all this empty, but this is a really nice sizzle. I need some sizzle because a couple of times I didn't record sound properly, so I've been rebuilding sizzle. And there's a nice sizzle there. So we'll save that sizzle for later. Export it as an audio file. And there we go. Put the lid on it, and we're going to let it fry for a couple minutes. Okay, now what do we got? What's next? Next step, open the beans. While that's sitting there frying, open the beans. So I started with the label facing the camera, but I put the can opener in the wrong place, so the label later on when I'm emptying the beans, I don't see my fake label. Turn, open. Okay, that's good. 23 seconds, probably too long. It might end up being shorter later on. And there, that's that. We're going to mix this around a little bit. I like that. So we can talk. I'm going to leave this whole piece in here. It's 14 seconds, which is probably too much of just cooking with nothing happening. Okay, let's move that there, but I want to show the sausage is getting a nice color. And now, so the question is, okay, so the camera jiggled a little bit. I'm using a remote now to trigger the camera. You figure that it wouldn't jiggle as much. Let's go over just another little hair. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm not sure why I did all of that, because I want to actually zoom out a little bit so I can see the can of beans being, yeah, so I tried to turn the thing there so the label would show, but I wasn't successful. Mix, 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 mix. Okay, end of the action. Oops, we don't want to go that. What time is it? 9 o'clock. We've been streaming for 40 minutes. We're going to be in good time here. I like what we're doing. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, so let's bring it in a bit closer. That's nice. Okay. Closing the lid. And what do we got next? Next, we're stirring it some more. And at one point, when I wrote out my recipe, I was going to put the mustard in. If you remember, a long time ago, I made that cheeseburger mac and cheese, and I put the mustard right in. And I really enjoyed the taste. But even though I'm not a fan of mustard, and I forgot. And then later on, I'm looking at this can of jar of Dijon mustard sitting on the table, and I said, "Oh, I forgot that." Okay. Okay, now we're doing that. Let's get rid of the 8 seconds, the 8 frames here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're closing it, we're opening it, we're stirring it. We're stirring it. Okay, we don't want this here. I stole a little piece of cheese out of the mix. I want to make this zoom out a bit. Let's zoom out a bit. I like that better. Center it just a hair. There you are. That's nice. We're mixing up the cheese. End of the action. There's the end of the action. And here we are. So now we're going to serve it out. I scratched my finger there, so I don't know if I want to use that. So we don't need my finger. Looks like it's biodegrading. I changed my mind on which side I wanted the pan to get the best shot of the camera. Let's zoom out a bit. There we are. Okay, and we're pouring it on. There it is. Okay, so it's on the tray. Now we're adding a bit of mustard. because I didn't want to let the mustard go, considering I took all the time to find myself this huge jar of Dijon mustard. And okay, let's zoom out, way out. I go smaller. Okay, that's good. Mustard has been deployed. Now, okay, here I decided, which finger am I using? Am I using the one that's got the cut on it? Yeah. Oh, well, too bad. We'll use it anyway. We're stuck with me. Put some leaves in there. I'm not 100% sure if that was helpful. We're putting some cheese on it. That's nice for garnish and for taste. And now let's see how long our video is here. We're down to 8 minutes. Still good. Okay, we're doing that. Okay, we don't need this clip. Three, 2, 3. You're gone. 3, 2, 3. Where's 3, 2, 3? There it is. It has no redeeming qualities. Let's just delete the thing. I'm not going to save it for anything. And so here, okay, so let's make this a bit smaller. Zoom out logically. Works in the wrong way around from the camera perspective. I guess because I was in the middle of also taking a photo for the blog. That looks nice. I like that. Bring that there. Okay, so here we got the captain eating, and here we got the captain talking. So let's that was because I couldn't see in the light. Okay, let's cut that out. So here we are. How many seconds of me eating do we really need? 24 seconds. That's way too long. The only thing is, see, later on, I lift the plate. Okay, never really like taking pictures of people eating, but mukbang, it's a mukbang. And what I'm going to do, let's see what it looks like here if I do, oh, I don't want to export. I want to find my cross zoom and see if I like a cross zoom in here. Does this look any good? So I've got the plate here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And while we're here, let's do an ultra key, the shot on a green screen. And let's bring this up one level. Shot on a green screen. So ultra key is Premiere's keying program, keying add-in. Oh, before we do that, let's take that out. because I want to, here we have, I've already lit that one properly. That looks better. And now let's bring in the Ultra key. And key out this green screen. Aggressive, yes. That looks pretty good. Let's see what, take the alpha channel. Okay, a little bit of gray there. Let's see if we want to do just something slightly different. That's better. But it's still got some gray spots in here. And change the pedestal, the black level. There you go. Oops, too high. That's good. Perfect. And let's go back to composite. So there's the captain eating. Let's zoom out just a hair. And I actually got the captain word to stick out on the hat. Okay, and then here's the intro for the captain. If I was a trillionaire. If I was a trillionaire and had a trillionaire yacht, this is how I would make Franks and beans. Let's cook. Okay, so that, let's cook. I thought I had a bit of bean stuck around my mouth from testing the beans, but obviously I didn't. Bring that down there. Tastes great. More, please. Wonderful. More, please. More, please. More, please. Wonderful. Okay. That more, please didn't work properly. Okay, so this will go here. This is the outro. I like that. That's a good good transition. Okay, let's bring this to the beginning. Hello. Okay, so this is way too long because I want the captain talking there, and I don't want to waste all of his. Make some room there. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the captain talking. Let's bring this cross zoom in here. Where's my cross zoom? There we are. Cross zoom there, cross zoom there. If I was a trillionaire. Hey, I love towns. Thank you for coming aboard. I haven't seen you since last week. So, as I say, we're trying to do this on a phone so it shows vertical, and maybe the algorithm will get a bit more coverage. I don't think we've got more coverage than we have in the past. Hey, Jyoti, thank you for. So that's another name for you. Yeah, we got a few personalities. Thank you for coming by. Always love to see you dancing, singing, and enjoying yourself. Really appreciate the company. Okay, so here, this is this. This is this. This is this. Let's save this, and let's bring in some elements. So how long is this? 6 minutes. It's been on the short side. Let's go find ourselves another project where we have the right salmon. Okay, the boat salmon didn't have that. Yeah, shrimp salad. I think this one had the right right elements. We're not going to have ingredients for this, but we're going to have this background, and we're going to have the seagulls. I don't know what the story is there. And while we're fiddling around over here, let's bring the titles. And let's bring the thing that says, please subscribe. And let's bring that from this project into, oh, thanks, Georgie. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. The close this guy and let's paste this at the end here. Hello. So after all that, I didn't hit copy. What a not paying attention. Open recent. Let's go back here. Yeah, shrimp. Let's go bring these, get these pieces again. This guy, this guy, this guy. Seagull. Control C, copy. Close this project. Paste this here. There we are. Thank you, Joji. Appreciate that. Absolutely appreciate that. Okay, what's going on? What happened to all the other stuff? Okay, all because I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay, let's go here. What the hell? Okay, so we're still here. Has this been saved? Let's save it before we get in trouble. And open recent, AI shrimp, and let's get the seagull, because in this program you have to press shift to select more than one item. In all Microsoft it's control, but this is Adobe and they've got their own way of doing things. Control C, and let's close this. Doing great, cooking, and trying to get this ready for is this going live tomorrow? No, tomorrow is salmon on the boat barbecue. So this is really going live later in the week. Close this project. Now let's paste this here. There we are. Something is annoying. Oh, I know what is wrong. I'm killing my saved video. Yeah, I love that. Hit the like, hit the like. I need the likes. Get that, make that algorithm happy. Okay, so here, this belongs in here. Let's make this a bit shorter. It's not salad. It's fun food. Let's call it fun food. Fun food. Because it is kind of fun, right? It's hot dogs and beans. It's what you'd make for a kid. And here, let's get rid of the AI. Trillionaire Frank. And beans. Does that look good? Trillionaire. T-R-R-I. Have to check to see how to spell trillionaire. It has two L's, right? Yes, it has two L's. Okay, and here we just want this to come to this distance. Okay, so that's my opening. Okay, so now, yeah, I guess I did copy it a couple times, so it seems to be several versions of this thing seem to be flopping around here. Where is my, okay, let's bring this in here. Okay, like that. That's good background there. And now for here, maybe I just use the same thing. Delete that. Okay, let's make this a lot bigger. 100%. Let's go down a bit. Move it over. Okay, I like that. Copy that. And let's paste that in here. And in here. Let's bring in our, where's our effects? Our cross dissolve. Put a cross dissolve in there. Put a cross dissolve in there. Pardon me. Yes, like, share, and subscribe. That's perfect. Okay, so, ooh, that's a little bit too bright, right? What happened here? How come? Oh yeah, obviously this got got some extra color correcting on it. Perfect. So what we're missing is, okay, okay, I thought maybe there's something hiding there, some clip that we didn't see. Let's find ourselves the like, share, and subscribe. And then I'm going to go off and do something else because we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. I appreciate all of the company. And let's go back to Open Recent, AI Shrimp. Where is this guy saying like, share, and subscribe? Close this one. Paste this in here. It's a minute. Okay, how come I don't see it? Oh, I see. what's going on? How come it didn't copy this? I think part of the problem is I've got this tripod for the voice, for the live, in the way. Okay, let's leave that out of the way for now. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Selected, Shift, selected, Control C for copy. File, close project. Paste. I don't know what's going on here. If at first you don't succeed, try again. File, open recent. There we are, okay. Edit, copy. Just in case this thing has lost its mind here. Close project. Okay, now we've got what we're looking for. Okay, let's go to place as any. So this is our trillionaire Franks and beans. It actually tasted pretty good. I am glad I didn't put the let's just close that. Close that. I am glad I didn't put the mustard in, because I think it tasted better without the mustard. Let's have a fast shot at solitaire, see if we have any chance of winning this mess. Oh, that could be good. That could be good. That could be good. What are the chances? Oh, I like my chances. I like my chances. That's 8. That's 10. This could be good. Hey, Melda, thank you for coming by. We're just about to finish this edit of my hot dogs and beans. I'm just killing a bit of time playing solitaire for a minute, and then I need to go and deal with another project. So what are the chances that we're going to win this thing? We can't. Oh, maybe. Let's see, bring this guy down. Yeah, winner. So we have edited this video on okay, so you can zoom in just a little bit, but then I wouldn't have seen enough of the editing screen. So we'll end up with putting that together, and it'll be live when? It'll be live. So the next one that's going live is salmon steak on the boat. We edited that together a couple weeks ago, and that I just finished that. I was going to actually take a few minutes, and I bought another nice looking salmon steak to I was going to oh, my eyes are dry. Cook the second steak, the new steak, to because in cooking it the first time it fell apart on the grill once it was finished cooking, and so it didn't look so good, and so I'm going to re-grill it, and then either on the boat or take the grill, maybe take the grill down to the dock, because I can do that at the marina even if the boat's out of the water, and then be more careful taking it off at the last minute so that it doesn't fall apart. It got or just don't cook it quite as much, so that I get some better shots of the piece of salmon lying on the grill at the last minute, and then on the plate as I'm eating it. And I really like the taste of that Old Bay spice that I had never tried before, and it was wonderful. So I'll end up redoing that, and but I think it looks good enough as a "this is how I cooked it" video. For the blog, I will, and the cookbook, I'm going to have a better looking piece of salmon steak on a plate that I've redone. So it'll be cheating a little bit, but the objective is to make it look good. And so then after that, there's one more boat barbecue cooking of a cheesesteak on a bun, sort of a Philly cheesesteak concept. And I'm not happy with the final look of the bun in that one as well. So that has to be reshot, re-recorded. And I did buy another couple pieces of steak of the same shape, but I need to find a bun that looks the same. And again, most of the video is good, except for the very final part of the bun on the plate, because the one that I have is kind of sad looking. And then that'll have to go live, and that'll be the end of the cooking videos that were recorded on the boat this year. I can't do live from the boat because there's no Wi-Fi, but the kitchen area is clean. I've got a lot of winterized stuff in there, but there's enough room in the kitchen area to possibly, pardon me, just had to check something, possibly cook another couple recipes out on the boat itself. And then, as I say, maybe Friday we're going to do a live, sitting in the comfort of this editing studio, but it'll be a restream of footage from sailing during the summer. And we can just network and chat a little bit about watching the water go by, and there's some vapor trails of a 747 overhead. Not very long, but we'll stretch that out to make it take a few seconds as well. And we've got some fireboat, I think. Toronto got a new fireboat, so they were testing that out, and we were out there. And I think we've got a freighter going by at one point. So we've got some interesting on the water activity that we'll do at a restream, and we'll probably do 3 or 4 restreams over the winter, sort of reliving when the summer was live. So thank you guys, Imelda. Thank you for coming at the last minute, Joji. I'm apologize for pulling the plug on it just after you got here, but I do appreciate your coming for the visit, and I promise I will drop by and visit you. Rusty Rivers, he's gone, but I haven't been to see his channel in a couple of weeks. But I will drop in there, and then other people are people that I network with on a regular basis. So let me say thank you, and let me push the button on this phone, and it says, am I sure I want to end my stream? I want to end my stream.